All I have to say after seeing this episode is Kite Man. Hell yeah. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Crossin Streams. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about the DC Universe's Harley Quinn series, and this time we're talking about episode 7 entitled The Line. The basic setup for this episode is Harley is talking with the Queen of Fables, voiced by Wanda Sykes. We met her in an earlier episode. She is the villain that almost got away with some horrific acts, but was trapped inside of a book by Zatanna. And she's getting advice about how to get in the Legion of Doom. The Queen of Fables gives her the advice, steal something that they haven't been able to. So Harley's setting up that caper. Meanwhile, the Queen of Fables, it comes to find out that the courts are now saying that her being trapped inside of this book forever is cruel and unusual punishment. So she's being let out. She thinks she's getting away scot-free, but no, the judge says, no, we're letting you out of the book, but we're sending you to Arkham. Harley doesn't think this is right, so she frees the Queen of Fables from Arkham, even though Poison Ivy isn't too fond of this. And this is kind of one of the big setups of the episode is Poison Ivy saying, look, you shouldn't trust the Queen of Fables. She's a real bad guy. She's like, you're a bad guy, but you're also a good person. Queen of Fables is just straight up evil. But Harley wants the Queen of Fables to help them in this caper. It comes to find out the machine, or the thing that the Legion of Doom hasn't been able to steal. Multiple members of the Legion have tried to steal this weather-changing device. And then Clayface goes and does some intel and finds out that it's in this lab surrounded by like 1,000 lasers. It's something ridiculous like that. So they need to steal from Star Labs this personal force field device. So they have the Queen of Fables help them do that by using her book to bring Cinderella's mouse out. But the mouse is not like the sweet Cinderella mouse. It ends up being like this Rambo-type mercenary. They use that mouse to get in this small space to steal this device that's a force field. But while they're getting the device, come to find out at this company where the device is being held, there's this family reunion in a park, like next door. And one of the members sees what they're doing and starts to tell other members of the family. While Harley and them are stealing the device, the Queen of Fable says, I'll take care of this. She ends up straight up murdering every single one of them, except one that Harley sees hiding under a bench. And Harley believes that it's a little girl. She sees a little, like a blonde pigtail. So they have the device, but they're all freaking out because the Queen of Fables just straight up massacres this family. They get back to their hideout, and Poison Ivy's basically, again, warning Harley, like, look, she's evil. You need to stop this. You need to tell her that, look, you can be friends, but you can't work together and all this. And Harley does agree and does try to tell the Queen of Fables, tell her, sorry, you can't work with us anymore, even though the Queen of Fables is like, I'm going to stick around a while. But the Queen of Fables is not real happy about this and says, you're going to be sorry that you left me alive. Meanwhile, a little before that, there's a side plot involving Poison Ivy, where it comes to find out she's dressed up all incognito, where you're not supposed to be able to tell it's her, even though she's still got green skin and everything. But you're supposed to be, she's out, and it comes to find out that she's been having sex with Kite Man all this time. Now they're actually going to go out. She just wants to go to a movie so she can kind of hide out. She's kind of embarrassed about being with him. And the whole thing is, he finally figures out that she's embarrassed to be around him. He's a little slow getting to that conclusion, but when he finally finds out, he leaves her. They try to go to a restaurant, and when the Riddler walks in, he's like, look, why don't you say it's you? They'll let us in. And she doesn't want to say who she is, but he outs her at the restaurant, but he's all upset and he leaves. So that's part of that plot, and that plot ends up being she goes to his apartment and they talk it out, and she says to Kite Man's roommate that I'm his girlfriend, and so now they are an official couple. What's funny is she's like, I like you, you know, and he's like me, and she's like, dude, we're having sex, you know, and I thought that was pretty funny. So now we go to the mission to get the weather device, and they get the device, they get it back to the hideout, and who shows up but the Queen of Fables, and is going to steal it from them. And she's like, I told you, you're going to regret it. But then all of a sudden, someone busts in the hideout, and it turns out that it was the final remaining member of this family reunion. It wasn't a little girl, it was a guy with a ponytail, and he puts his hands on an electric fence, and all of a sudden he has electrical powers, and he's there to kill them all. Long story short, he basically says to Harley, if you give up the Queen of Fables, who is the one that massacred everyone, if you give her up, everyone else will go free. So Harley does. She says, you don't know me very well. And the reason the episode's called The Line is because they talk about, Harley gets mad at the Queen of Fables for killing all these people. You crossed the line. And she's like, well, we're bad guys. We should be able to cross the line. And so she's like, you can't cross that line, Harley. And Harley says, you want to bet? Shoves her out of the force field that was created by Dr. Psycho. And the guy with the electric powers shoots the Queen of Fables, but it turns out that Harley slipped the device, the force field device from earlier, onto the Queen of Fables, and it ends up shocking the guy with the electrical powers, and it kind of knocks him out for a bit. And she lets the Queen of Fables go, and she's like, you're letting me go again. You're going to regret it. But then everything ends up okay with them, at least for now. The guy that had electrical powers wakes up and is like, did I avenge my family? And she's like, yes, you did. And so he was happy about that, and he's going to live a new life. Then all of a sudden he takes a spear through the head, and the Queen of Fables is like, I got to kill all the witnesses. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. The episode started off a little slow because I thought they were just going to rely on the raunchy humor. I mean, some of the stuff that Wanda Sykes was saying, well, at times was funny. It just felt like this is all they're going to rely on. But as the episode went along, as they brought in the Kite Man stuff, it just started to work a little better. And so I was happy that the episode was able to turn around. I do also like that, even though, and you're probably wondering about the weather device. They did get it, but it comes to find out that they try too many passwords and it like blows up. So it's useless now. So yeah, they were able to steal it, but they wasn't going to be able to hold it over the Legion of Doom's heads. But yeah, I was glad that the episode was able to turn itself around and start using a little bit more smarter humor. One of my favorite lines was Harley saying, it was near the first though, and she says, it was kind of raunchy, but it was funny. She's like, who do I have to blow up to get something done around here? You know, because you think she's going to say the one thing and doesn't. So that was kind of funny. It was a simple line. All in all, it was a fairly solid episode. I wouldn't say it was as good as the last few, but it was still a pretty solid episode, and I enjoyed it. And I'm still digging the show. Again, I was afraid it was going to get bad, this one, but they started being a little smarter. I still think they need to be more smart using the group that they've got. Like the last episode where we got a lot of good stuff with King Shark and Dr. Psycho, and episodes before that where Clayface got to shine a bit. This one, yeah, you got some good, Harley got to shine a little bit. Poison Ivy definitely got to shine in this episode. But again, it wasn't the strongest episode. It was still a good episode, though, and I did enjoy it. That's going to be all for this edition of Crossin Streams. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about the Harley Quinn series on the DC Universe, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I am your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. See you later, puddins.